what is the way that you're going to be okay with black people protesting? Can't riot. You march. You get a full force of the police department at your throat. Missouri, we want to have a sit-in. They are trying to change the law in Missouri to allow you to stay overnight for tailgates, but not for protests. Kaepernick sits in the national anthem and then speaks for 15 minutes eloquently about real problems. Shut up and play football. Like, how do you want black Americans to express that things going on aren't right? What is the perfect protest? Who is the perfect protester? Because no one ever wants to talk about that. People get angry, and I'm fine with people getting angry. What I don't like is the misdirection. Everyone wants to talk about, was he disrespectful to the flag? Okay, now let's talk about his T-shirt. Let's talk about his socks. Let's talk about if he's good at football. Are we going to actually talk about what he's talking about? The reason he did this?
Yes, but I would argue it is the most talked about thing, CNN, MSNBC. It's not that it's not being discussed. It's a workplace environment for at times an immature player who we haven't taken seriously and at times hasn't taken his career seriously. So it doesn't land with as much power and gravitas as it should. It's like, I can't take Trump seriously. Seriously. Right. Trump has brought up 2 or 3 things that are fascinating. HBO's John Oliver last week said Trump deserves credit for acknowledging he would write checks to the Clintons and get his way. But I can't take it seriously because of the messenger. I think what you're denying is the reason it lands with Jabbar. He's the best player I ever saw before Michael. And Ali was the best fighter, especially if you look at young tape, in the history of the world. And Jim Brown, they say today, is the best football player.
So, but is the rule you've got to be great to have a stance?
The rule is I am willing to more. It's like you. If you go on the radio, I will choose Nick Wright if you're on the radio. And I don't choose a lot of people because you have earned my respect. You take the career seriously. You take the issues seriously. So you have earned my respect. I am a consumer of your product. How many local guys do I bring on my show?
Right.
You come here. You are prepared. You've got graphics. You bring on stuff. I'm like, you're like doing your own show when you come on my show. All I am saying about Kaepernick is it is a workplace environment. You and I have strong political talk, right, but we prepare for it, and it lands on our show with great discussion. When his career, his juvenile Instagram, look at this, look at the hat, and it undermines his point. His point's great, but you can't argue that not all protests and points are equal.
Yeah, I understand that we always want the perfect messenger, the perfect vehicle, though that's hard to come by. And this is the most powerful and the most noteworthy true athlete stance in a long time.
I think this whole thing, like you coming on today, this is a win.
It's right, which is exactly. That's just what I was going to say. And I know we're late, which is why I don't really care how Kaepernick got the ball rolling.
Yeah.
He did. This is the discussion instead of the shoes, instead of the socks, that he can't. We weren't going to talk about this. We just talked about how wrong you are about Leonard Fournette. We could have talked about fun things that don't matter. I
wanted to talk about this.
But his goal was, let's push this to the forefront.
Yeah.
And let's actually have this discussion. In that regard, I applaud him.